What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, and I hope you're all doing well. Today we're talking about everybody's favourite left back, the Brazilian Emerson Palmieri of Chelsea FC. But before we get into today's video, I'm going to ask you again, if you're new around here, please do hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon to stay locked to Football Therapy and keep up with all these great videos I'm churning out for you lot. So, who is Emerson Palmieri? He is a 24-year-old Brazilian left-back bought from Roma, transferred to Chelsea FC as, I guess, a backup to Marcos Alonso. Who knows, maybe even to challenge him for his number one spot. So when Emerson was purchased, Marcos Alonso was indeed the first option. He excelled in that left wing-back position, but with the arrival of Maurizio Sarri, Chelsea went back to a back four system, and this kind of fucked shit up. Now being deployed as a conventional left back, Marcos Alonso's positive left wing back attributes kind of just faded away, and he was exposed in a whole lot of different footballing ways, but you know, mostly defensively. Marcos Alonso may have started last season okay under Maurizio Sarri, and Maurizio Sarri kind of oddly came out saying he was the best left back in Europe, or could be. Sounds funny now, right? But the truth is, Alonso is a really poor conventional left back, which we'll talk about more shortly. As the system started to bed in a little bit more with that back four and demands of each player positions came to surface more, Marcos Alonso's frailties came to light, and Chelsea's left flank began to deteriorate. Chelsea's left flank fucked up a lot. And on that side of the pitch, negative issues began to ferment within the Chelsea system. So let's just go back to Alonso for a little bit. He got a new contract because Marcos Alonso is a very good left wing back. When he plays safe in the knowledge that he's got three centre-backs behind him, covering him, as well as a more roaming N'Golo Kante, a bit more deeper roaming behind him, he's got that sort of safety net, safety barrier to just basically stay forward without having to track back. He's got a sweet left foot on him, Alonso, so you know, he can bang in volleys, or you know, just he loves a dead ball as well. And just get into the box and poach a little bit. I mean, Marcos Alonso, for all the slagging off that a lot of Chelsea fans do to him, he's a very good left wing back, and he has a lot of number 9 like striker attributes, like, you know, arriving in the box and just sniffing up a chance and putting it in the corner, or getting on the end of a header, or like I said, a dead ball situation, or he can smack a volley into like the corner of the net. All these like stuff that is great, but not really what you expect from your left back. You want your left back to do left back stuff, you know, to like help the system and the team. Another huge problem of Marcos Alonso playing left back last season was the interplaying combinations moving forwards. Whether it be the left-sided midfielder like Kovacic or Ruben Loftus-Cheek wanting to combine, or more notably Eden Hazard trying to do this interplay and combinations to create chances up the pitch or moving up the pitch. Alonso was really bad at that, and there's some great photos of Hazard literally sort of going like, you know, just basically in despair at Alonso after a move breaks down because he's either on the wrong wavelength, too slow to get there, does something by himself that's wrong, or do you know what I mean? There's so many things he would have done wrong, or is just literally not good enough to execute these combinations. So loads of stuff broke down. Enter Emerson Palmieri. Okay, off the bat, he's a much more conventional left back. He can get up and down the flank really well. He's got an engine on him, unlike Marcos Alonso. He's got high energy levels and he's fast, so he can track back. He can afford to morale forward and do bits with the other players, but he has a good recovery speed, so already he's looking like a decent left back in comparison. But with that, it was so much more with Emerson. Suddenly the left flank was sort of reborn in a lot of ways when he came into the team. The combinations were suddenly there with, say, Ruben and Hazard. He knew what to do. He's very technical with his feet, and he's good at receiving the ball and passing quickly. Basically what a modern day top tier passing football side would require out of their left back. And suddenly Hazard wasn't as frustrated anymore. Things were paying off and smiles were happening down the left-hand side of Chelsea's attack. And you'd expect this to continue if Emerson plays in the left-hand side, whether obviously it won't be combining with Hazard now, but the continuation of good combinations with Ruben Loftus-Cheek or Mount or someone who's on the left, or Kovacic now who's re-signed, and probably Willian on the left flank, if not Hudson-Odoi when back in the team. So there's just inspires more confidence that the technical ability will be there on the left-hand side to interchange, do good interplay, combinations, create chances, and score goals. Much like Callum Hudson-Odoi, Emerson had to sort of wait for his chance to get into the first 11, but by the end of the season last year, he was in the starting 11 for the Premier League games and the Cup finals and all that sort of thing. He sort of cemented that place, but throughout the season, the majority of his chances came in the Europa League, like Hudson-Odoi. So I want to look at some of his statistics in that competition in the Europa League to show really what he was about when he was given his chance. So on that, let's look at the numbers. Right, let's look at some of the defense stats. Emerson made 2.8 tackles and interceptions per game in the competition last season, which is a handsome defensive number and one that's similar to Liverpool's Andy Robertson. Now, I use Andy Robertson as an example because he's widely regarded as the best left back in English football. So already defensively, he's churning out the similar numbers to Andy Robertson. These numbers are more impressive when you think about Emerson's style of play. He's not just running forward, passing, then getting back for a systemic move. He runs forward and he likes to do take-ons. Andy Robertson isn't a dribbler, isn't a risk taker like Emerson. Emerson's still churning out the same sort of defensive numbers, but he wants to get forward, do 1-2s and dribble with the ball, which makes his defensive numbers more impressive. Passing. Right, so in Emerson's European campaign last season, he managed to sustain an 89.6% pass success average. That sentence still fucks me up and seems like it's difficult to say. But 89.6% is very, very good. Again, I want to cite, he's a dribbling, risk-taking player, so it's it's an immaculate pass accuracy regardless, but he's not like a real safe player, so that's very, very good. Very impressive. And to pull up poor old Andy Robertson again from his European campaign last season, he only managed 79% pass accuracy, so 10% less than our Brazilian Emerson Palmieri, which is kind of shocking to be fair, you'd expect better from a Liverpool left back. And in Europe, Emerson was making 1.2 key passes per game, which is a very handsome stat considering all the other stuff he's knocking about doing. To execute 1.2 key passes per game, that's quite a creative level of output there, and yet there is poor Andy Robertson, 0.8. Just for a bit of reference. Now, I'm hammering Robertson a little bit here. Stuff like 0.8 key passes, that would probably come down to, it might come down to managerial instruction. Maybe he's doing something so robotic he doesn't try and do a key pass, but maybe not. Maybe Emerson's just performing better in that sense. And again, different competitions, different levels, but the numbers still mean something. Okay, a few more stats I want to cover. Emerson popped off 1.1 shots per game in his European campaign last season, which is good for a defender, over a shot on goal per game. So he defends well, he gets forward, he combines, he dribbles, he takes on, and he'll pop a shot off. The whole package. Now, I've been talking about him doing take-ons and dribbles. He actually does 2 dribbles per game, or certainly did in Europa League last season. That is a very high number for a left back to complete 2 take-ons per game. That's something you'd expect maybe more of a winger, but to get that from your defensively sound fullback, that is a very pleasing statistic to read. And the final stat I want to talk about is he got dispossessed 0.8 times per game last season. Very, very good considering he is doing take-ons and getting up the pitch and dribbling. He's not even getting dispossessed once per game. I don't really have any more to say about that apart from it is an impressive stat and very good. Right, that is enough of the numbers. So the story of Emerson Palmieri's season last year was he wanted to get into the team, he had a bit of frustration. Marcos Alonso probably stayed in for a lot longer than he should have considering his long dip of form. I mean, even his biggest fans, Alonso, towards the end was like, yeah, he needs to be dropped now. Emerson came in, and in a lot of ways the left-hand side was reborn when, say, him, Ruben and Hazard were all playing together. So you'd imagine when Frank starts taking training, he'll look at that, and you would imagine he'll start Emerson as his conventional starting left back. And why wouldn't he? He seems like the ideal choice. The only situation you think maybe where that would change down the line is if he does have some sort of idea that he can rebirth Alonso as a better left back, or he eventually starts Reece James as a right back and moves over Azpilicueta to a left back. But I mean, although that might make sense for Frank's idea, for me, Emerson's the starting left back for Chelsea Football Club next season. Right gang, that's my video on Emerson Palmieri. I hope you've enjoyed it. For me, he was an important figure in Chelsea's season last season. You know, he came into the team and he changed it. He's still only early mid-20s, so he could be an important figure for Chelsea moving forwards. And why not? He looks very capable and able to do it all. So what do you think? Let me know, comment down below. Give me your thoughts, let me know what you think of this video, Chelsea squad, the players, my channel, what you want me to do next, would you like me to do some more non-Chelsea stuff, etc, etc. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. I'm really pleased with how it's growing. I put a lot of work into these videos, as hopefully you can tell. So help me out by helping me grow, and more videos, better content for you guys. That's it guys, enjoy the football, I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.